The red dust blew across the empty landscape of Mars Colony 4. The sun was low, casting long shadows over the rocky ground. A mining crew worked deep in Sector 9, far from the main colony base. Eli Carter, a 27-year-old engineer, stood near a drill machine. His helmet visor reflected the strange Martian sky. He was tired, but something in the air felt different today. The radio crackled in his ear. "Eli, report status," said Captain Ross from the control center. "All good here." Eli replied, "Drill is stable. No gas leaks, no tremors, just silence." But it wasn't silent. Eli paused. He heard something faint, a whisper like wind, but not wind. He turned around. No one was there. He shook his head and went back to work. 10 minutes passed. Then the radio went dead. Back at the control center, Captain Ross frowned. Eli's signal was gone. "Try him again," he told the comms officer. They called. No answer. Another worker named Liam spoke up. "He was just near the rock edge. Maybe he slipped?" Ross nodded. "Send a rover, fast." Liam and 2 others reached Sector 9 in 10 minutes. But Eli was gone. His helmet lay cracked near the edge of a black cave, a place not marked on any maps. Green fluid was on the rocks. It glowed faintly. Liam picked up the helmet. "This is strange." His oxygen levels were full. No sign of struggle. They heard a noise from deep inside the cave, a soft humming like a song. But not human. The cave was dark, too dark. Their flashlights could barely cut through the blackness. "Do we go in?" one man asked. "No," Liam said. "We call this in, now." Security drones arrived 2 hours later. They scanned the area. One drone flew into the cave. Inside, the camera showed strange markings on the walls, symbols, glowing lines, like some kind of language. Then the signal cut off. The last image? A flash of silver hair and glowing blue eyes. Captain Ross watched the footage, frozen. Pause it. Zoom in. The alien figure was female-shaped, not wearing a suit. Skin pale like snow. Eyes bright. Almost beautiful. "This is not a natural cave," Ross said quietly. "Something dug this. Something lives here." He turned to the camera. "Lockdown Sector 9. No one enters." The next night a man in the control room worked alone. He watched the footage again, then again. He leaned closer. "They're not human," he whispered. He didn't know that someone was behind him. She moved silently, almost like air. He felt cold breath on his neck. He turned, eyes wide. Meanwhile, Eli opened his eyes. He was not in his suit anymore. He lay on a soft white surface. The ceiling above him pulsed with light. He couldn't move. Something held him down, but gently. 3 alien girls stood nearby. All of them looked human, but not quite. Their hair floated like underwater silk. Their skin glowed faintly. They wore no armor, only thin robes. One of them, the tallest, stepped closer. She looked into Eli's eyes. Her voice entered his mind, not through ears, but through thought. "You are safe. You are strong. We need you." Eli tried to speak. Nothing came out. Another alien touched his forehead. "He will recover. Begin preparation." They walked away, speaking in a strange language. A new voice, male and scared, echoed. In the background, "Please, don't take me. I didn't do anything." The voice was suddenly cut off. Eli's eyes widened. Back on the surface, Liam reviewed the drone's last recordings. He paused on a frame, a shadow behind a rock. He enhanced the image. It was a human body, being dragged into the cave by 3 figures. He stood up fast. "We need to go public. The colony must know." But before he could leave the room, the lights went out. 7 days before Eli disappeared. A strange object entered Mars orbit. It was silent. No alarms, no signal, no heat trail. Just a silver shape slowly falling toward the planet like a leaf in still air. The Mars colony radar didn't detect it. But one janitor named Mika saw something that night. He stood outside the dome, watching the stars after his shift. That's when he saw it, a flicker in the sky, like metal catching sunlight. But there was no sun on that side of Mars. He blinked. It was gone. Far across the planet. The object crashed silently into a canyon. No explosion. No dust cloud. Just a smooth landing, hidden in the shadow of ancient rocks. Inside the ship, 3 figures opened their eyes. They were not human, but they had been studying humans for years. They looked like women, tall, graceful, with silver white hair and skin that shimmered like water. Their eyes glowed faint blue. Not with light, but with thought. They did not speak. They only felt each other's thoughts. We have arrived. The planet is quiet. Their kind is nearby. We must move quickly. Our time is short. Back in the present, Eli lay on a glowing table, weak but awake. The air around him was warm, filled with a soft humming sound. The walls of the room curved like a shell, alive, not built. He saw the 3 alien girls again. One of them stepped forward. Her voice entered his thoughts gently. Do not fear, you are chosen. Eli tried to sit up. Who are you? The alien tilted her head, like she was trying to feel his soul. We are from a world that no longer lives. Our kind is dying. We need something only humans can give. Something inside you. We call it ... nectar. Eli's eyes narrowed. What do you mean, blood? The alien shook her head slowly. Not blood. Not body, emotion, energy. What you give when you feel close. When you connect, when you trust. That is the nectar. That is life to us. Another alien added. We used to feel love, joy. Now, we only feel hunger. We do not want to harm you. We only take what you can give willingly. Eli was silent. His mind raced. Was this a dream? A trick? The tall alien placed her hand on his chest. You are strong. You have much to give. You will help us, or others will suffer. The lights in the room shifted. A door opened. Another human, barely conscious, was brought in. His face was pale. His body shaking. Eli screamed. What did you do to him? The alien girl looked sad. He fought us. Fear blocks the nectar. Now he is broken. Back on Mars colony, Captain Ross stood in a meeting room. He was watching the enhanced image. From the drone, the one showing the alien figures dragging the human body, the room was silent. Ross spoke finally. They look human. But they're not. And they've been here longer than we thought. A woman from the science division stepped forward. She had a file in her hand, shaking. We've seen this before. On Europa. Same green fluid. Same missing people. We covered it up. Now it's here again. That night, Liam couldn't sleep. He kept seeing Eli's empty helmet. The cracked glass. The green stain. The humming sound. He sat up in bed and turned on his compad. He searched for something no one wanted to talk about. Project NECDAR. The screen flashed. Classified. Liam bypassed it with an old code. What he saw made his blood run cold. Human test subjects. Emotional energy transfer. Alien symbols. Failed experiments. He read the final line aloud, whispering, Do not make contact. They will not stop at 1. Back inside the alien ship, one of the girls looked out through a screen. She watched the Mars colony. Lights in the distance. She spoke to the others through thought. They will soon discover us. Then we must begin full extraction. No, said the third. Her name was Nira. Some of them are kind. We should ask, not take. The other 2 looked at her in silence. Kindness will not save our race, one said. Nira looked down at her hand, glowing faintly. But maybe one human can. It began with a dream. Eli saw earth. Green fields. A sky full of birds. Children laughing. Then the world turned red, burning. The sky cracked open, and 3 glowing eyes stared down at him. He woke up screaming. Eli sat up fast. He was still in the alien chamber. Glowing walls, soft white light, no doors, no shadows. His heart pounded. One of the alien girls, Nira, was watching him. She didn't speak. She placed her hand on his chest again, gentle, like she was trying to feel something inside him. Your mind is strong. You saw what we fear. Eli pulled back. What was that? Nira looked away. For the first time, she seemed unsure. A memory. Not yours. Ours. What happened to our world? What will happen to yours? If we fail? Eli stood up, unsteady. He saw other chambers down the hallway, glowing pods, and inside them, humans. Sleeping. Still. Floating in light. Are they alive? He asked. Ira nodded slowly. Yes, we do not kill. We extract. We leave them with dreams. Some even ask to stay. Eli's fists clenched. This is not asking. This is prison. She led him to a circular room. Like a temple. In the center floated a small blue crystal, pulsing with light. This is nectar, Nira said. She touched the crystal gently. It pulsed brighter. It is created when human emotion becomes pure. Energy, through trust, care, desire, connection. It feeds us. Heals us. Without it, we fade. Eli stared at it. You could have asked. We tried. Long ago, your kind feared us. They wanted to own it. Now we must take only what we need, in secret, quietly, until someone like you listens. Eli stepped back. His voice was low. You want me to feel something, for you, so you can feed off it? Nira didn't answer. Instead, she looked at the wall. A screen opened. A video played. It was Earth. Floods, fires, wars, cities breaking apart. This is not just our problem, she said softly. Your world is dying too. You burn from the inside. But nectar can heal more than us. It can fix minds, calm anger, bring peace. He watched in silence. His heart wanted to believe her, but his mind screamed, lies, manipulation, control. And if we refuse? He asked. Nira stepped closer. Her voice was calm but sharp. Then others will take what we don't. Not all my kind are gentle. We are not the only ones here. Back at Mars Colony, Liam was planning something dangerous. He had found a hidden file. A code. A forgotten lab under the surface. He and 2 friends snuck out at night. Suits on, carrying scanners. They followed the green fluid trail to a sealed hatch, ancient, hidden beneath dust. The scanner beeped. Life signs. Inside they found rows of tanks, humans, floating. Monitored. One of them looked like Eli. But Eli was already gone. This was someone else. Someone older. Liam stared at the face and whispered, What the hell is this? Suddenly, the power flickered. A voice echoed through the chamber, but it wasn't coming from speakers. It was inside their heads. You should not be here. A shadow moved at the far end. One of Liam's friends screamed. Then silence. Back on the alien ship, Nira turned suddenly. Her eyes glowed bright blue. She felt something. They found the hidden lab, she whispered. The other 2 alien girls entered the room fast. They cannot be allowed to leave, one said. Too soon. Too dangerous. Nira looked at Eli. They are coming for us now. But they don't understand yet. Eli looked at her, unsure. Then help me make them understand. Tell the truth. She stepped closer. If I tell them the truth, will you give freely? Will you offer what we need? Eli hesitated. Then he said quietly, I don't know. But I'll try. The walls dimmed. The ship rumbled slightly. More humans were waking up. Some were calm. Some were afraid. One man shouted, Where are we? The other alien girls began to prepare for mass extraction. "Begin the process," they said, but Nira stood in front of them. "Not yet, let them choose." The air turned cold. One of the alien girls narrowed her eyes. "You are becoming human," Nira smiled. "Maybe that's what saves us all." Nira stood at the edge of the ship's observation ring, watching Mars turn slowly beneath her. The planet was quiet, lifeless on the outside. But underneath, things were waking up. Behind her, the lights of the extraction chamber flickered. The others had already begun the process again. More humans were being pulled in from the surface, selected for their strength, for their energy, for their feelings. Nira didn't move. She could feel their thoughts from afar. Excitement, hunger, urgency. She used to feel the same. Now, she felt something else. Her eyes closed, and in her mind, she saw Eli again, the way he looked at her, not with fear, not with love, but with something rare among humans and aliens alike. Possibility. Something had changed inside her. And change was dangerous. The chamber doors opened behind her. Vera entered, tall and cold like glass. Her silver eyes burned with pressure. "Haven't joined the cycle," Vera said. Her voice was calm, but beneath it, a storm. "I'm watching," Nira replied, without turning. "You're hesitating." "I'm thinking." Vera stepped closer, quiet as a shadow. "Thinking leads to questioning, and questioning leads to collapse. Do not forget what happened to Ilari," Nira remembered. Ilari had tried to speak with humans once. It ended in fire, and Ilari never returned. Vera touched Nira's shoulder. "We are not cruel, we are careful. We take what is offered through connection. Emotion is our food. Their energy is our cure." "But are we asking," Nira whispered, "or stealing it with pretty words?" Vera stepped back. The silence between them grew sharp. Outside the ship, another group of humans was being transported, sedated, silent. Their thoughts were fogged, their will dulled. Nira turned and walked out of the chamber. She had made her decision. Far below the ship, in a secret lab beneath the Mars surface, Liam was running, blood on his suit, panic in his breath. One of his friends was gone, taken by something in the dark. The lab was older than the colony itself. It had been buried, hidden under government lies and forged reports. But it was real, alive and full of secrets. He reached the top hatch and slammed the override button. Nothing. Locked. Then the lights changed, from white to green. The same green he'd seen in Sector 9. A voice entered his mind, cold, female, familiar. "You were warned." Liam screamed as the light swallowed him. On the ship, Eli sat alone inside the crystal chamber. He stared at the floating core of nectar, glowing blue, spinning slowly. It pulsed with energy, with emotion, with pieces of people. He wondered how much of him was in there now. Nira entered quietly. He didn't turn to look. He could feel her near. "They're taking more," he said. "Yes. They're afraid of dying. So are you." He finally looked at her. Her face was calm, but her eyes, they were different now. Not glowing like before, softer, sadder. "What are you doing here, Nira?" he asked. She sat beside him. "I want to stop this. I want to help you speak to your kind, to tell them what we are, why we came, what we need." Eli raised an eyebrow. "You think they'll listen?" "No," she said. "But someone has to try." In the Mars colony control room, Captain Ross reviewed another missing person alert. 12 people vanished from zone. 3 without sound. Security footage showed only static. Then, one frame. A tall figure with silver hair, glowing eyes, and no shadow. Ross closed the file. He turned to the defense officer. "Activate Skynet 7. Prepare orbital strike." "On what target, sir?" Ross leaned forward. "Anything that glows blue." Nira and Ely stood before the ship's communication core. She had reprogrammed the signal, Changed it from cloak to open. The humans would hear them now. All channels are live, she said. Once I speak, there's no turning back. Eli looked at her. What if they attack? Then we learn what kind of species you really are. She pressed the button. A soft tone filled the ship. Then her voice, clear, slow, and simple, traveled across Mars into every screen and every station. We are not your enemies. We are not your gods. We are not your future. But we are dying, and you are our only hope. Far below, Captain Ross stared at the message. His finger hovered over the missile command. He had 10 seconds to choose, and far away, in deep space, a second ship, larger, darker, hungrier, opened its eyes. They had heard the signal too, and they were not coming to ask. They were coming to take. The air inside the ship was no longer calm. The walls, once smooth and glowing, now pulsed with a slow red rhythm, not light, but a warning. Something had gone wrong. Eli could feel it before he even stepped out of his chamber. It wasn't just the lights, it was in the air. A pressure. A shift. Like the ship itself was afraid. Down in the extraction zone, 2 humans were strapped to white platforms. One man was unconscious. The other, a young woman, was awake and shaking. 3 alien girls stood beside them. Vera among them. Her hands hovered over the man's chest. She closed her eyes. The crystal above began to flicker. It should have been a clean process. 10 minutes. A memory drawn. An emotion converted. Then peace. But something was wrong. The man began to scream. The crystal sparked. Then cracked. Nira ran into the chamber too late. The man was dead. The crystal was black. Vera stood still, shocked. Her mouth opened, but no thought came. The energy had twisted, pulled too fast, too deep. Behind them, the woman began to cry. Her voice echoed across the room. Where am I? What are you doing to us? She looked straight at Nira, eyes wide with terror. You said you wouldn't hurt us. Nira stepped forward. I didn't. I never wanted. You lied. The girl's voice broke. Her body collapsed. The straps holding her in place loosened. She didn't move. Vera turned to Nira, her voice hard. This is what happens when we wait too long. When we let feelings interfere. Our kind are fading. Do you want more to die? Nira's hands were shaking. Not from fear. From guilt. There has to be another way. There isn't. You've seen the stars. No other world. No other hope. They are the only source. She pointed at the humans, and now they're breaking too. Ailey stood at the door. He had seen enough. His voice was quiet, but heavy. Stop pretending you're saving lives. You're feeding off us, like we're batteries. Vera turned sharply. We never hid that. The energy is life. You waste it on war and pain. We use it to survive. Eli stepped forward. But you take it by force. That's not survival. That's... Hunger turned cruel. Behind him, the girl on the platform gasped suddenly. Alive. Still breathing. But her eyes were dull. As if something had been pulled out that would never come back. Eli looked at Nira. She was right to fear you. Nira said nothing. In the colony control center, Captain Ross stared at the new report. 4 more colonists missing. Number. Trace. No signal. No sound. One of them was his brother. He stood silently, then tapped the screen. Begin the operation. Outside the colony walls, a launch pad lit up. 2 black drones lifted into the sky. Armed, silent, trained to follow heat, signatures and emotional spikes. Their orders were simple. Seek, track, eliminate. Inside the alien ship, alarms began to ring. There's human. Nia, a turn to Eli. They found us. How? You opened the signal. You told them we were here. He looked back. You wanted them to listen. They won't listen now. They'll attack. Another voice entered the chamber. A new one. Cold. Deep. You were warned, Nira. All eyes turned. From the far corridor, another alien stepped into the light. He was older, taller, skin darker, like polished stone. His eyes didn't glow blue. They glowed red. He walked with purpose. The council has arrived, he said. Behind him, 3 more figures, soldiers, higher, stronger. Nira stepped back, stunned. You came early. You failed early. The elder looked at the humans. No more asking, no more patience. Begin full extraction. Eli stood between them and the girl still lying on the platform. You're not touching her. The elder raised a hand. Then we take you first. The lights in the room dropped to black dot, and then the walls themselves began to open. Not doors, not exits, but cages. Inside them, more humans. Hundreds. Sleeping. Dreaming. And every single one was about to wake up. Asterisk. The sky above Mars turned black. Not from clouds, but from ships. 4 long, silent vessels appeared above the planet's surface, blocking sunlight, casting a slow-moving shadow over Colony 4. Inside the control center, alarms were flashing, but nobody spoke. Everyone just stared at the screens. The readings didn't make sense. No engines. No signals. No response. Captain Ross stood still. His voice came low and cold. They're not just visitors anymore. One of the soldiers beside him tightened his grip on his weapon. Permission to fire, sir. Ross didn't answer. Not yet. His eyes were locked on one image. A single alien ship glowing faint blue near Sector 9, the same one that had sent a message across the system, the one asking for peace. He turned away. Open communications. I want to speak to them directly. Nira stood at the ship's center, her hand resting on the signal crystal. She could feel their fear even before the first words came. The message arrived, human voice, sharp and short. You have taken our people. We have seen you're dead. This is your final warning. Release them or be destroyed. She looked at the rows of sleeping humans, then at Eli, who stood beside her. You said they'd listen, she whispered. Eli watched the message replay. They are listening, he said. But they're afraid, just like you. Nira turned back to the crystal. She knew what she had to do. She closed her eyes. Her thoughts became words sent across the link. We are not here to rule you. We are not here to harm you. We came to ask. But now others have come who will not ask. She paused. There is still time. Deep below in the Mars Colony war room, the signal echoed through the walls. Ross looked at his officers. I don't trust them. One said. Another added. She sounds different. Not like the others. Ross's face was hard. That's what makes her more dangerous. He opened the private line, the one that went straight to Earth's high command. A voice answered instantly. No deals. It said they had their chance. Use force. Ross stared at the comm unit. Even if one of them wants peace? Silence. Then the voice came again. All of them are the same. Target the signal source. Launch in 5. The line went dead. Ross turned back to the screen. His brother's face appeared in his mind again. Still missing. His hand hovered over the command key. Then, just as he was about to confirm, something strange happened. The signal on the alien ship changed. It was no longer words. It was images. Not threats. Memories. Earth. Before the wars. Before the fires. Before the rage. Children playing. Families smiling. Music. Laughter. Peace. The crew in the control room stopped breathing for a moment. Someone whispered, That's you. Ross stared at the screen, and in that moment, he hesitated. Inside the alien ship, Nira's body weakened. Sharing emotion that deeply, that honestly, drained her. Eli caught her as she fell. You're risking everything, he said. She looked up at him, barely strong enough to speak. So are you. Behind them, the other alien ships were preparing. But not for peace. The elders had taken control. They were building a conversion chamber. Not gentle. Not clean. Full-force extraction. Every human they had stored would be drained in one cycle. Fast. Brutal. Final. And then they would move on to the colony. Eli ran. He passed glowing corridors, the sleeping rows of humans, the flickering core chamber. He reached the lower deck where the emergency transport was stored. He had one goal: get out, not to escape. To warn the humans, and to stop the war. Nira followed, weaker now but still moving. If you go down there, she said, they will kill you. Eli stopped. Then tell me what else I can do. Nira didn't answer, because she didn't know. The transport launched from the alien ship like a silver spark. It fell toward Mars fast. Too fast. The colony defenses locked onto it instantly. Unidentified object approaching. Shouted the tech. Ross looked at the screen. He recognized the shape. Hold fire. Sir, I said, hold fire. The pod hit the ground outside the colony and opened. Eli stepped out, waving both hands in the air. No weapon. No armor. Just words. They're not all the same, he shouted. Soldiers surrounded him instantly. One of them hit him hard. He fell. But even as blood ran from his nose, he didn't stop. They're about to extract everyone, every person they've taken. But one of them is trying to stop it. She needs help. Ross arrived on scene. He looked down at Eli. Why should we believe you? Eli looked up. Because I came back. High above, the alien council activated the conversion core. The sleeping humans began to shake. Lights dimmed. Energy flowed. And Nira stood before the main crystal chamber. Alone. Her hands raised. Her voice, quiet but steady, entered the minds of the elders. If you do this, you will never feel again. They laughed. Feeling is weakness. Nira's eyes began to glow brighter than ever before. Then I will remind you. The room exploded in light. Light filled the chamber, brighter than anything the alien ship had ever known. Not machine light, not artificial. This was different. This was raw emotion, memory, pain, love, hope, all at once, exploding from Nira like a second sun. Elders stumbled back. They had lived for centuries, fed on human energy across galaxies. They had never felt anything like this, not since before their world died. Not since they were alive in the truest sense. They tried to stop her. They couldn't. Nira stood alone, her body shaking, her eyes glowing pure white now. The ship itself began to change, the walls reacting, reshaping, like they didn't know who they belonged to anymore. The sleeping humans inside the chambers stopped trembling. Their bodies calmed, their breathing softened. One by one, their minds began to return, their dreams faded. And they remembered who they were, but it came at a cost. Nira fell to her knees. The light around her flickered. She had given too much. And outside, in the colony control room, Eli felt it. Not saw it, felt it. Like something warm passing through his chest. A voice without sound, saying only, "Choose well." Captain Ross stood beside him, staring at the new readings from the ship. The extraction system was offline. The energy levels were dropping. The human vitals inside were stable. The warship behind the colony gave its final report. Missiles locked on target. Awaiting command. The timer started. 60 seconds to fire. Ross turned to Eli. "You said one of them helped you. Is this what help looks like?" Eli stared at the screen. He saw Nira's face through a security feed. Her body was still. Her hands open. She had stopped the others. She had saved them. But now she was dying. "I'm going back up," Eli said. "No," Ross replied. "You've done enough. Let her go." "I can't." Ross raised his hand. "She's not one of us." Eli looked straight at him. "No, she's better." Without permission, without waiting, Eli ran. Straight to the launch pad. Straight into the storm above. He reached the second shuttle just as the countdown hit 30 in orbit. The alien ship began to break apart. The core was overloading. The elders tried to flee, but the system locked them in. The ship no longer listened to them. It listened to her. Eli crashed into the docking bay and climbed through the broken corridor. Heat burned the walls. Sparks flew from the ceiling. Smoke choked the air. He found her by the crystal chamber, barely breathing. "Nira," he said, kneeling beside her. Her eyes fluttered open. "You came back. I told you I would. You shouldn't be here." He smiled. "I never really listen." She tried to laugh but coughed instead. "You'll die," she whispered. "Maybe, but not before I finish this." He looked up at the main console, red lights. Meltdown in progress. He placed his hand on the panel. It didn't respond. Nira reached up weakly and placed her hand over his dot. Then the ship answered. The lights turned white again, on Mars. The command countdown hit 10. "Orders, Captain?" Ross hesitated. 1 breath. 2. Hold. "Sir, the window." I said hold fire. The missiles powered down. In space, the alien ship began to drift. Silent, no weapons, no extraction beams. Just a white glow. Like peace. Inside, Eli carried Nira to the transport pod. She was cold now. Fading. "You gave them a choice," he said. "Now let me give you one." Her voice was barely a thought. "I'm not human. I don't care." He reached the surface with her just as the ship above cracked apart. Not an explosion, just release. Like a sigh at the end of a long life. The other alien vessels, seeing what had happened, did not fire. They turned and left. No war. No final attack. Just silence. And then the stars again. Weeks passed. Mars returned to quiet. The missing humans woke up, weak but alive. Some remembered dreams. Some remembered faces. One remembered dancing in a field that never existed. The colony built a new rule. No more secrets from the sky. Every signal, every ship, every star would be watched. But something had changed. Something small. Something human. Eli stayed on Mars. He kept Nira's memory chip with him. Her thoughts. Her voice. Her light. Maybe she was gone. Maybe she wasn't. Maybe she had just become something else. One evening, as the sky turned orange and the wind moved the dust gently across the dome, he looked up. A single star blinked. And for just a second, he felt her hand in his again.